This is why I'm going to be single forever. I love that jazz bar you took me to. That was so fun. And he was like, oh, well, we never went to a jazz bar.
Baby little boy.
A little bit unfair of me to offer to pay half of the bill.
You end up hitting a man and he really gives it to you after that, he was always going to hit you.
There's a lot of women asking, where do you meet these guys that pay the rent in full? You met him. He just doesn't drive a really fancy car. You met him. You just thought he was lame.
Welcome back to Motor Life. Before we get into this video, like, comment, subscribe. Also, smash that notification bell just to be sure you get all my videos as soon as I release them. Let's get into this. This can happen. That's not the girl you want. Let her go. Please don't crash out. Don't end up in jail for nothing.
This is why I'm going to be single forever, okay? My ADHD is ruining my dating life because I'm dating a lot because I'm trying to like get married and stuff. And I'm just mixing up every date with various people, okay? I was on a date with this one guy that I'm kind of seeing, and I was like, oh my God, I love that jazz bar you took me to. That was so fun. And he was like, oh, well, we never went to a jazz bar.
Baby, when I know you're only sorry you got caught.
And I was like, right. Well, you know, we should. That's a dream of mine. The dream I had is you and I were at a jazz bar. I went to a jazz bar with another man.
That's what happens when you're dating too many guys. And she's a little bit of a looker. So I'm sure she has a lot of options. What's foul is you say you're dating for marriage. You may not be giving it up because, like you said, you're dating for marriage. You most likely in your 30s, either younger 30s, or you may be getting close to the danger zone. But you may be around 32, 33, 34. I give you that. It's a danger for him. It's a no for me. Seriously, that's I feel like a game show. It's a no for me, yeah, because it's a no for any guy. He's taking a chance with you because look at you already. You already can't remember. At least write it down on a sticky note or something and put it on your refrigerator so you can have some memory. Do some kind of work. But yeah, no guy should tolerate that. I'm happy you didn't.
What are you doing here? What are you doing here?
I'm applying for a job.
What are you doing here?
Yo, stop. Stop.
What are you doing here?
Yo, move.
What are you doing here?
I'm applying for a job. Ask the dude.
What is he doing here?
I'm applying for a job.
We just came in looking for a job.
He's looking for a job?
Yeah,
You're not looking for a job? What are you doing here? Who you was here with? Who was you here with?
I was applying for a job.
Who was you here with? No.
Jim, you told I came here to apply for a job, right?
Yeah.
He was giving me an application.
Your location been here all night.
He was giving me an application. Thank
You
you.
need a pen?
Yeah. What do you...
Your location been here all night. You telling me that he was looking for a job all night?
Tested.
Who are you here?
Wow, that's foul. I'm happy how my man looked out for him. He probably gave him the wink. But yeah, bro, turn off your location. Like me, I have nothing to worry about. I'm married, but still. What are you doing?
So there's a lot of women asking, where do you meet these guys that pay the rent in full? Where do you meet these guys that pay the rent in full? You met him. He just doesn't drive a really fancy car. You met him. He just wasn't over 6 foot. You met him. He just wasn't the best dresser. You met him and he may have said something awkward on the first date. Those guys are at work. Those guys will look you dead in your eye and say, yeah, I know you want a 6-bedroom house. I understand that. But for right now, while I'm going through this program in school, we're going to be in this 1-bedroom apartment.
Real talk.
Those type of dudes are not going to pay $300 on the first date for a meal. Those type of dudes aren't going to go out here and buy you a purse just because you're cute. These type of guys are going to go on vacation, but baby, there will be some planning involved. And somehow, somewhere, got it twisted that unless a man can be spontaneous and do whatever you want at the drop of a hat, then that means he's not capable of taking care of business. Those type of men take care of business. It's just, they're boring. They're predictable. They're routine. They will not give you any and everything that you want, which a lot of women don't like being told no. They will compromise. But until you become a woman that understands, I want the man that makes sure our home is taken care of first, you're not going to be ready for him. You met him. You just thought he was lame.
You're right about that.
You know, coming from her, I accept it. Why? She is a modern woman. She's trying to date in this day and age. A lot of you may have seen her. I've seen it before. She was talking about she was at a singles event and no man was there, right? And she said, I go to those things. I want to go. Guys go to singles events. She was eager. She wanted to find a man. And I can side with her. She didn't have those same values, those same dating standards that others have. I can tell from how eager she was, but still, she's right. And more need to humble themselves. See, a lady like her, she'll probably find a man, but a lot of other women will be single forever. Why? They won't compromise. They won't. We see it all the time. We see ladies come on TikTok and speak in reverse of what she said. They go against it. Oh no, a man needs to do this. A man needs to do that. A man needs to provide everything. He needs to know what I'm thinking. He needs to understand how I'm feeling. Yeah, and certain men do, but what do they do? They take advantage of it. Everyone all over you.
I could hear some people saying, like, it sounds real white. And you're like,
no, actually beating a black child is the whitest thing you can do to destroy them intellectually. Beating a black child is the whitest thing that you can do to destroy them psychologically, spiritually.
Beating a black child is the whitest thing you can do. I don't think it would be something God suggests. Spare not the rod, right? God's wrath is like a parent's wrath. And you have righteous wrath or divine wrath, they call it, right? That's the wrath you have for your child. You don't beat them with love. I'll tell you one thing. I remember my mom used to give me spankings. You know what she would always do after? She would tell me how much she loved me. Do you know I always loved that? I did. I did. Because when you're getting beaten, you feel like they hate you. That's how you feel. She would always give me a smooth talking after, come hug me and rub on me. So, no, that's not the whitest thing you can do. That's the smartest thing you can do.
Spiritually, emotionally, and physiologically. So what I talk about in my book, Spare the Kids, is I go back 2,000 years of history, back to antiquity in Europe, where corporal punishment, this ritualistic violence against children, was born. And in Europe. And there are white guys who wrote books about this. So, you know, when black women say this kind of stuff, nobody believes us. But I got the bibliography. So a bunch of white dudes wrote this before I was even born. And they've tracked all of this violence against children in Europe. Europeans never respected their own kids.
That woman speaking is Stacey Patton, the author of Spare the Kids, subtitle, Why Whooping Children Won't Save Black America. In that interview with her and Torre, she's talking specifically about corporal punishment, the origins of it, and why so many black folks is lost in the sauce of that old Bible and sparing the rod and spoiling the child. I'm sure we all heard it. I found these discussion questions online. I think we all should go grab this book. The first question, Spare the Kids, includes a lot of scientific research on long-term negative effects of...
No. Exactly like I explained. You do it with love. After you discipline the kid, you explain why it was done and try to refrain the most from doing it. It's usually better to discipline by taking things away. Very effective. But sometimes a kid gets so hard-headed, they need to feel it. And that's why all of these things they're saying here, I believe is false. I believe it does have some psychological effects, but not the way you're thinking. It'll have a psychological effect to where you feel entitled, which is what we have today. Right? Look at this generation we have today. Why are the kids running around acting like this? They ain't getting enough spankings.
If a man does this one thing, it's a huge sign that he might become dangerous or violent later down the line. One of the first signs that you're dating somebody who might have violent tendencies is aggressive driving. And it's more than just bad behavior on the road. It's a glimpse into how they handle control and power. This could look like speeding, tailgating, weaving through traffic, ignoring stop signs, blowing through red lights. And what's alarming is not just the risk to your safety, it's the mindset behind it, right? They don't care about how it makes you feel or the danger that they're putting you in. A man who truly cares about you will drive in a way that makes you feel safe and secure, not terrified. So how he drives says a lot about how he respects you and how he values your well-being. So all this to say that don't overlook how somebody drives, because aggressive driving isn't just about the road, it's a reflection.
No. It can be a reflection of them. That doesn't mean the person is going to be violent towards you or is possibly going to be violent towards you. Because people drive around like that all day and have road rage all day and go home and they're the sweetest person you could ever meet in your life and will never lay a hand on nobody. So this is just like the last reaction, right? Where they're saying, don't hit your children. The same thing. That's not true. In some cases, it can be true. Just like the last one. In some cases, it can be true, but I don't believe it. I don't believe it is. But let her finish, though.
Reflection of their character. So if he's putting your safety at risk, take it seriously and trust your instincts.
Believe that if you want. Now, ladies are already having a problem getting a man in the first place. Then they get a man, and then they got to watch how they drive. Oh, we got to break up. Come on.
I was a little surprised when he took me up on it, but I got my wallet out. I brought it. I brought my card. You just don't see it very often where I offer to pay for half of the dinner or drinks and then he takes me up on it. The whole finance part of dating is probably one of the most confusing parts for me and the part that gives me the most anxiety. It is a little bit unfair of me to offer to pay half of the bill.
Those days are over.
But then when the guy takes me up on it, I don't talk to him again. It is a bit of a red flag if a guy doesn't pay for the first.
No, that's a red flag that you asked and then he didn't pay for it and you left him. Why did you ask?
Date? Do you expect it on the first date? And if you don't do it, I'm not gonna talk to you again.
Sayonara. Goodbye.
Adios.
When you're on a date and the check comes, do you offer to pay?
This is the problem, right? As a man growing up, you don't know what's what. She looks kind of young too. The guy could have been 25, 24. Maybe that was his second, third date. Guys don't date as often as you do. And you look like you don't date much, but you probably got racking them up in high school. Just bodies on top of bodies. But still, men don't date as much as you. So maybe he's an amateur. Because I'm sure you're dating someone close to your age. I know how you think, oh, this older guy trying to talk to me. All that nonsense. But yeah, I know he's around your age. So what if that's the case? What if he hasn't gotten around much? What if he hasn't dated much? Things they don't think about.
I don't understand that the girls who say I hate men have the most out there. And what I mean by that is like the that's I hate you like you. I got standards, so I hate them type of I hate men. Like you know what I'm saying? We have the most. Why? Because one self-respect. Niggas love bitches with self-respect, but next, that's not my point. It's gonna be niggas out here that's like, she'll never get me in, she'll never get me in. Da, da, da. We have the most And the thing is, we need to say, oh, okay. I still hate you. Okay, baby, like down a little bit. We need a nigga to put us in our, you know what I'm saying? So these, you would never have a man. They be little boy. They be little boys. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would never date you anyway. Nigga, like, is you cool? So the thing is, it's like, you know.
Stay far away from girls like that. Like, most guys out there are not trying to date you anyway. That's facts. They're not. She's talking like a man. Yeah, nigga. If you know, you know. Like, if you know, you know. She remind me of a New York girl. I didn't look at her profile, but it's written all over her. If you know, you know. Who's talking?
Your masculine energy.
Guys don't find that attractive. If you know, you know. Like, if you know, come on now. That's something to do. That's how dudes talk. It is. You've watched your older brothers talk like that. Maybe you grew up in a house full of brothers. Or you've been around too many project dudes. Get it together.
If you end up hitting a man and he really gives it to you after that, he was always going to hit you. He just was waiting for you to make the first move. He was manipulating the situation.
Who is that girl?
Not gonna lie, nah, I'm not drinking that Kool-Aid. I'm very much a part of the, even if a woman hits you, don't hit her back, like, unless you're somehow literally worried, like, for your life. Like, I'm in that crowd, right? But to say, like, a man who does hit a woman back, it's just because he wanted to the whole time, I feel like it's a bit disingenuous. Now, I'm sure there are some master manipulators where they're just waiting so then they have, like, a defense. But I feel like most of the time it's more so like a man who can't control his temper. And the thing about a post like this that I don't like, the one she made, is I feel like it enables women to, like, put their hands on men. Like, yeah, she doesn't say, like, oh, women should be able to do it, but, like, you being like, oh, you know, if he actually does hit you back, it's because that's what he wanted to do the whole time, and making him, like, just, like, the pure villain of the scenario. Like, it's like sometimes we really need to hammer home the point. And things, if you look in the comment section, you'll see it. Like, we need to hammer home the point that nobody should be putting their hands on anybody. Now, mind you, again, like, my girl would have, like, slapped me in the face again, and, like, that's all it was. Like, I'm not hitting her back. And in the event where she's, like, throwing haymakers and really getting on me, I feel like the most that should ever happen between a man and a woman is, like, create space, like a light push, as much as you can until you can, like, get out of the situation, you know? Because a push is truly a defensive move, okay? Like, if you were to go for a punch, that is an attack. It's like, you know, men 9 times out of 10 are stronger than women, so if you throw a punch, like, it's gonna do so much more damage than you need to. So literally, I can't see the defense for a man, like, hitting a woman, like, genuinely, like, throwing a punch, or even, like, slapping, like, viciously, unless that woman was somehow just, like, so much stronger, or, like, she had a weapon or something, because you just can't you can't put your hands on a woman, bro. However, to say that, like, oh, you hit this man first and he hit you back, so he was always gonna hit you, like, he was just waiting for the moment, is very irresponsible, and also very much blame off of the woman who put her hands on this man first. It's like you're putting this thought in their head where it's like, even though you're not saying that, you're like, oh, like, again, like, it's okay for me to hit a man. Like, if I hit a man and he hits me back, he's so much worse than I am. Like, if you initiate DV with your partner, you are just as bad as that partner. However, obviously, you being a woman, it's likely not going to have the same effect. It's like how people talk about racism against white people. It's like, it's still racism, but people just don't care because it has no actual effect. However, again, like, DV from a man towards a woman could really, like, damage that woman. So that's why it's not the same, but at the same time, you don't want to promote DV in any sort of direction, because that's just like it's objectively, like, a bad thing. Like you slap a man, you hit a man, like, that's bad.
No, it's not. And if you're a victim of that as a man in a relationship, get out immediately. Don't tolerate it. Don't ever accept it. It's only going to lead to you going to jail, because one day she will hit you hard enough to where you're going to hit her back and you will go to jail. Don't do it. Now, here's an example of that happening, but in a road rage situation.
Get out of my face.
This woman faced instant karma after starting a fight in a fit of road rage.
Let's go! Get out of the store! You want to run? Get out of the store there! Get out! Get out! I didn't touch your car, you got it. You were on my gun. Come and touch me, because my man's right from there. Come and put your hands on me. I ain't driving crazy. Your was on my goddamn. I went to the other lane. Get out of my face.
It was at this moment that he knew he f***ed up.
Karma's a bitch.
As if it weren't already bad enough, she's about to get reprimanded by a man for her bizarre actions.
Stop jumping on cars and feet. Get in the car. Stop jumping on cars. D, why are you jumping on the car? Get in the car. Get in the car. Get home. Come on, get home.
It is unclear what sparked the brutal interaction, and if anyone suffered injuries as a result. But this is no way to act.
She shouldn't have did it. Equal rights, equal lefts. That's what happened. And you did it with such malice, too. What did you expect? She should have expected to get hit. I'm sure y'all are thinking she should have got her face broken, which happened.
My immigrant mother just called me on the phone, innocently asking me if she should start carrying her passport in case they start doing mass deportations to prove that she's a citizen. That's so sad.
Man, so I first seen that and I said, wow, what's going on? Then I seen this.
We have some major breaking news right now. Donald Trump and his team are expected to begin mass deportations with raids beginning in the city of Chicago starting on Tuesday of this week on January 21st. This is the first wave of mass deportations according to latest reporting from the Wall Street Journal. Now afterwards, the Trump administration is expected to look at other cities like Los Angeles, Miami, Chicago, other than Chicago. And these raids are expected to last potentially the entire week next week. So the mass deportation plan, which is going to be led by Tom Homan, Kristi Noem, and others, is literally starting on practically day 2 of the Trump administration. If you live in Chicago, please be aware of this. If you know people living in Chicago, please send this to them so that they're aware of this because it is coming and there's really nothing they can do to stop it right now.
That's deep. Trump did say he was going to send people back across the border to other countries. I saw Filipinos talking about it. They call it taco non taco out here, TNT. And yeah, I believe they call it the same thing out there in the U.S. too. I think they call it the U.S. and other countries too. But yeah, it's happened, but it's something he said was going to happen. So he's just standing by what he promised and prepare for it. It's going to be a wild next 4 years for a lot of people. But yeah, y'all, thank y'all for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. See you next video.